Welcome back everyone. So in this video I'm going to take you through a very simple series of stretches starting from the top of the body working our way down, and the reason for these stretches is just as a kind of a maintenance stretch. So if you're following any of my other videos, you'll see, and I'll link them in the description below, that there is a kind of mobility, kind of warming up video, which is excellent for preparing you for deeper stretches. There are some deeper stretching videos which work on different areas, which you can use to really focus on development. And this video is so that you can keep the rest of the muscles that you're not focusing on supple at the same time. And this can be a standalone stretching video that you could just do without any preparation, without any warm-up. But if you were to combine it with the other videos in various ways, you can really accelerate your ability to get supple and to become more mobile and flexible. So feel free to be creative in how you utilize these videos. And without too much to say, let's just get straight in and get started. So we start with standing, and with good posture, and by that I mean particularly don't have the weight kind of resting on one leg and one hip. Stand nice and balanced, and we're going to start with just stretching up nice and tall. So just interlace the fingers, lengthen through the spine, but don't let your shoulders hunch up too much like I'm doing now towards the ears. Let them just relax a little bit, but you also try not to force the shoulders down. So a comfortable position, and then if you're able to, turn the palms to face away from you. And we're going to hold this lengthened position for about 15 seconds. So just hold it nice and still. And then after about another 5 seconds, we're going to hold this position a bit longer as we go into a side bend. So now just move over to one side. You don't have to force it, but just go comfortably to the side. And we hold it for about 15 seconds. Come back up to the center, over to the other side, and another 15 seconds. So most of the stretches that we do are going to be for 15 seconds, with a few exceptions along the way. So 3, 2, 1, come back up, release the hands, let them come all the way down, take them behind the back, and then just draw the shoulder blades together, lift your sternum, and then raise the arms up behind you. So if I turn to the side, you can see that I'm raising the arms up, but I'm lifting the sternum at the same time. So we're holding that for 15 seconds, so we're going to do another 5 seconds, and then you can relax. We then take the hands in front of the body, roughly at heart level, interlace the fingers gently if you want to, and then you're looking to let the chin drop down, and then you're trying to separate the shoulder blades. So from the side, you can see I'm very much rounding the shoulders, trying to separate, and we're just holding that position. We'll do that for another 5 seconds. And then you can relax. Well done. So the next movement is to take one arm up alongside the ear, the other hand is pointing straight down, and you're going to attempt, if I turn away from the camera, to get the hands to connect behind you. Now, some of you might not be able to get the fingers to touch, and that's okay. You can just have them wherever they are. But if you can get the hands or the fingers to touch or grab together, that would be ideal. And you could utilize a yoga strap or a towel to get a connection if you wish. So once you've got that position, whichever elbow is pointing up, try to keep it pointing right up towards the sky, and then turn your head to look away from that highest elbow. And then once the head is turned comfortably, as far as you feel comfortable, let the head tilt downwards towards the floor. And we're going to hold that position for 15 seconds. So just another 5 seconds. And then you can bring the head back to the center, release the hands, swap the arms around, and you might find that one side is able to connect with the fingers and the other side isn't, and that's quite common. So once you've got your hands connected, or you're as far as you can go, turn the head and then tilt to look down towards the floor. And we're going to hold it for 15 seconds. So just another 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Come back to facing the front. Release the hands. Well done. You might want to give yourself a little shake through the arms and the shoulders just to release any tension. So the next movement is to bring one elbow up to shoulder height, palm inwards, a 90-degree bend in the elbow. And then use the other hand and bring the elbow across the body, keeping the elbow at shoulder height, and try not to hunch this shoulder up towards the ear too much. So we're just going to hold that for 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and then straighten the arm, have your palm facing inwards, and make sure that your hand is above the elbow on the back of the arm, and just see if you can go a little bit deeper into the stretch. And we hold that for another 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Turn your palm downwards, bend the elbow so it goes over your shoulder, and just see if you can go a little bit deeper into the stretch. And then just turn the head to look over the shoulder, and then keeping the hips facing forwards, just see if you can turn through the shoulders and get a little bit more rotation, and it will just change how you feel that stretch. And then we come out, releasing the hands, and we do the same on the other side. So we bring the elbow up, palm inwards, 90-degree bend at the elbow, and we go into the first part of that stretch. Keep the shoulder relaxed, holding it for just 5 seconds. 3, 2, and 1. Straighten the arm, palm inwards. Make sure this hand on this side is on the above the elbow, and just see if you can go a little bit deeper. 3, 2, 1. Turn the palm down, bend the elbow so it goes over the shoulder. Go deeper into the stretch if you can. Turn the head in the direction that the hand is pointing, and then without twisting the hips, just turn through the shoulders and the upper body to see if you can get a little bit of rotation in that same direction. And then we come out of the twist, and then you can relax. We're now going to bring the palms together, hold them at roughly your heart level, and then push down towards the floor until you can feel a stretch in your wrists and your forearms, but you're keeping the palms together. Then we're going to turn the hands over to point down towards the floor. So I can't turn my hands all the way, as you can see from the side. So just turn as far as you feel comfortable. And then if you want to increase the stretch, just try to bring the hands upwards towards your chin, but don't force it. So this is where I feel comfortable. Some of you will be able to go further than that. And then you can just relax. And you might want to give the wrists and the hands a little bit of a rub and a little bit of a shake, just release any tension as we go into the next movement. So moving down into the legs. For the next one, you might need a wall for a bit of balance, but we're going to take one foot and hold it so the knee is pointing straight down. So what I mean by that is the knee isn't out to the side. So we're holding roughly 15 seconds, and then we'll swap over to the other side. But you also, if you're not using a wall for balance, you're helping to train your balance, which is a good thing to keep practicing. And then we'll swap over. So we grab one foot, hold it with the knee pointing straight down. So just another 7 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and then relax. And for the next movement, we're going to take one knee and pull it towards the opposite shoulder. So grab the knee and bring it up and across towards the opposite shoulder. So my left leg is coming towards my right shoulder. It's a diagonal movement. So just another 5 seconds. And then we release and we swap over to the other side. So again, this requires balance. So feel free to have your back against the wall if you need to. And then release. Well done. So we're now going to widen the feet nice and wide. So whatever you feel you can manage. So that begins to bring a bit of stretch into your inner thigh. And then from here, we're going to stretch down towards the floor and then left and then right side. So when you feel ready, just come down. Let yourself just hang to begin with, so you're not forcing anything. And then we're just going to come over to one side, keeping the leg straight. Let your hands rest somewhere on the leg. If you're very supple, you might be able to be touching the floor. We're just going to hold this position for 15 seconds. Nice and gentle. So 3, 2, 1, come back into the middle and then over to the other side. So nothing should feel too uncomfortable. So just another 5 seconds. Coming back into the center, and now just stretch straight down towards the floor. So it doesn't matter if you can't reach the floor, you could be just clasping the elbows. You might just want to have the chin tucked in a little bit so there's no tension in your neck. And then what we're going to do is turn into a lunge position. So you're kind of sideways. Your knee on your front leg should be roughly in line with your ankle. So if you need to, you can make the foot further away or closer to you. Make sure your hips are facing the same direction so they're not slightly rotated. So your belly button should be pointing in the same direction as your knee. Uncurl your back toes and then just sink down into the movement. So we're stretching particularly the hip flexor on the back leg. And you want to make sure your knee, it can go forward but shouldn't go past the line of your toes. So we're going to hold that for 15 seconds. And then we're just going to come slightly out of that stretch, place both hands on the inside of your front knee and just take them towards the floor. It could be just your fingertips or the palms, and you want to see how close you can bring your body towards the floor. And we hold that position for 15 seconds. So from here, we're going to come back up and we're going to swap around to the other side. So you can put your hands on the floor if you want to, but just walk yourself over so that you're in the lunge position with your other leg in front. So again, making sure your belly button is pointing in that same direction. Change the position of your knee so it's lined up with your foot and make sure your back toes are uncurled. And from here, we sink down gently into the stretch. Feeling the stretch, particularly in this tight area into the hip flexors, and we're holding for roughly 15 seconds. And then we come slightly out of the stretch, place both hands on the inside of your front knee and either fingertips or palms. Just see how far you can bring your body comfortably down towards the floor. Holding for 15 seconds, and this is the final movement. So just another 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Well done. So just come back into this position, which is nice and wide. Walk the feet towards each other, and then just uncurl up to standing. And that brings us to the end of the sequence, and hopefully that will allow you to kind of stretch all the major muscle groups in your body. So hopefully, having completed that sequence, you feel a sense that the whole body has had a nice stretch. It's just one set on each muscle group, and there's lots of different muscles that have been stretched and released. And so it's not necessarily going to develop your flexibility, but it is something that you could quickly run through, which will maintain your flexibility whilst you're working on other areas that need to improve. So utilize that sequence as part of your day-to-day kind of exercise routine as you feel that you need to.